We're going to talk to you today about the Self-Leadership Change Project. You should have this paper, and there's a little link down here that says Vision and SWOT link, and that'll be this paper that we'll talk about too. So to start with your Self-Leadership Change Project, you need to pick something that you can obtain. You need to pick a small thing that you want to change about yourself. This semester, mine is to be a happier person. You want to share yours for this semester?
Mine has been to exercise at least 3 days a week and be active at least 2 of the other days.
Anybody else?
Mine is to love difficult people.
That's a good one.
Mine was similar to that.
So we tried to pick things that we know that we can do. We don't want to say things like, I want to run a marathon tomorrow. I mean, maybe I want to run a marathon by the end of the year would be more obtainable. To do this project, you need to pick 3 to 5 observers. I always pick my sister and then a friend, and then this semester I picked a classmate, Ashley, because she gets to see me most days. So hopefully she'll be able to tell if I'm a happier person.
She is.
I guess it's working. Another thing that you need to do this project is to journal, and it says each day, and I'll be honest, I'm terrible at journaling. I don't journal hardly ever. Is there anybody that journals every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I journal regularly, at least once a day.
Does it keep you like up to date and keep you more motivated to do your project?
It helps, yeah.
It helps.
Yeah. I have something to go on, so that works for me.
Right. Anybody else? Do you journal every day?
I procrastinate journaling. Does that count?
Well, at least you think about it. Another thing with this project is to read and study material. You can look at things like, I've looked at the Happy Project. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's trying to just be happier every day. Just pick one thing that you're happy about each day, and then you'll have 2 things, and then 3, and then you go on from there. And it doesn't say to talk to people on here, but the read and study, I like to talk to people too, like talk to really happy people in my case and say, like Ashley is always happy, and I don't know why. Like I don't get it. So I can talk to her and kind of see where she comes from. So, do you guys have any tips on the read and study part of what you guys do or where to look?
I just agree with you to talk to people. It gives you better insight than reading a book does, I believe.
And it also gives you different perspectives on how to approach whatever it is that you're trying to do or not do, depending on your project.
And if you pick one of those people that you talk to be an observer, I feel like it really helps, drive your project home. I mean, I can talk to Ashley and say, why are you happy? And then she can come up to me one day and be like, you're really not a happy person today. Remember when we talked and maybe you should do this? So, the last thing for the class is the summary paper, which we write down what our SLCP was. Last semester, mine was patience, and so I wrote, my SLCP this semester was patience, and this is how I succeeded or didn't succeed, and these are the people that I chose to observe me, and I didn't journal each day, but this is what I did do, and that kind of thing. It just summarizes the whole entire thing for you, and it'll be up to your professor on how extensive I think you'll really do the summary, but I feel like ours is pretty much however you need to say it to get your point across. And it's kind of neat to look back at and say, like, at the beginning of this, I was just really, really terrible at this one thing, and at the end, like, maybe I'm good at this now. So, all right.
So we have a question here on Twitter that asks,
What's he say?
he says, do you have to have one subject, or can you switch midstream? And how do you feel about that? Can you have more than one subject?
We've always been told that we can switch midstream, and I know that our professor usually has more than one subject that he does himself. So, like once you get through with one SLCP, you can add on to it and say yours is working out. Next semester, you want to, do a workout, and then you want to run at the end of it or something like that. You can always add to them. And if you start on something and you just absolutely don't like it, then change it. I mean, this is to make you a better person. So if you're just totally miserable, then obviously that's not going to help. And we have, in that little link, the SWOT link, we have the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you can look on those and, like, your strengths, what do you do better than others, what positive traits do you have. It's just a list of different things to kind of get you started in picking your SLCP project. And if you want to do 2, then by all means, go for it.
Awesome. I feel like that answered the question adequately.
Thanks.
Did that help him?
Yeah.
Yep.
He tweeted back and said, yeah.
How cool.
So.
Any other ones?
Another, let's see what she says. What happens if it doesn't work out?
That's okay. I mean, mine was patience last semester, and it didn't work out for me. I'm going to be real honest. So, I mean, what do you guys think if it doesn't work out?
I mean, it's truly your project. It's up to you. If it doesn't work out, then try again if you want to, or switch it up.
But I also think that we should add that it doesn't mean that you necessarily failed.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you could have learned something about yourself
Yes.
that you didn't know before and said, okay, well, I recognize this in trying to find, I recognize that I'm not a happy person in trying to figure out why my patience is so thin. So.
Or you could even realize, you could even realize that it's too easy and that you need to pick something that's harder for you to do.
Or vice versa, if it's just too hard and you just set something that you really wanted to do and it was just like, well, in 1 semester time frame or whatever time frame that you set for yourself, if you couldn't do it, then you need to go back to the drawing board and say, why did I fail?
Yes.
And then in doing so, you're actually helping yourself out more.
I agree with that.
Good point, Antonio.
And this person said that we answered the question. So
Oh, thank you, Jessica.
there we go. Another question here is, do you have to keep a journal?
Ooh.
I don't think you have to, but I mean, it's a good thing to go back on that day and say, oh, okay, I did do better than this, or I did fall down a little bit, you know? I don't know. I think it's just a good tracking record, you know?
Kind of see like what your
Yeah.
triggers are.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it might help keep you accountable. Because if I'm going through and being like, I didn't exercise today, then the next day I'm doing it again, then I'm feeling bad. And I'm like, okay, I got to get with it.
Right.
Like, it shows me that I'm really just not doing well.
I think that's like a personality thing, because where that would motivate you, I would be like, well, day 3, that's out the window. Like, might as well just keep on going for day 4. So that's why I don't journal, because if I was like, I was just not happy at all today, and then the next day I was still not happy, I'd be like, well, I'm a bitter person. That's fine. Like, so I think that if I don't journal, I feel like I have hope. So I think that that's all, I mean, in perspective and your
That's funny.
personality.
Right.
Like I've kind of been I've been doing just treat my body better than the day before. So like the journaling is almost like I don't do it because I'm already journaling I already know how I treated my body the day before. So now like I'll either do like a little more exercises or eat a little better or just do something better. So the journal for me isn't really apply or something like it. I don't
It's
need
not
it.
needed.
You know what yours is every day. You don't have to look back to see it.
I didn't know that was yours. That's a really neat one. I like that a lot.
All right, so I have a couple people asking, like, what are some examples of SLCP on this table, panel, whatever you want to call it? So, how many, like, what are the subjects that you are doing it over? Is I guess what the question is trying to ask.
Well, we kind of said that at the beginning, but
Yeah, a
if
couple
we-
of us had said, but, I mean, is there anybody else that wants to share?
Well, I'm doing on procrastination because I'm really bad at it, so I'm trying to improve it. So yeah, I'm doing my SLCP this semester on procrastination.
You're trying to get better at procrastinating?
Not better, for sure. I'm trying to improve.
Or are you getting better at procrastination?
I'm trying to.
Or you get better at not procrastinating at it?
Yeah, instead of doing it the day before, you're just going to do it the hour before.
Yeah.
Mine's to keep track of how I spend my money, because right now I just spend it and not really pay attention to where I'm spending it at, and then I look at my bank account and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot more than expected.
I mean, but as far as like some examples go, you can do things that that you want to stop doing. Like, say we had someone last semester quit smoking because of this SLCP. You know, you can do health things like, you know, have your body, you know, do what Ricky's doing and just working out and eating healthy, or you can do stuff internally that's like, you know, why am I such an angry person? How do I get better at helping people or loving people. You know, why am I on the edge of doing this? Why do I cuss so much? You know, it's just like you can do anything you want internally, externally, or intrinsically and extrinsically. But there's a lot of stuff.
Well, and sorry, I'll cut in real fast. On this SWOT thing, there's a thing for weaknesses. And so if this is your first one, you can look on there and it says, like, what are your negative work habits or traits? Or does any part of your education or training need improving? I mean, so you can pick one on there. And for a lot of this is my 4th or 5th one. So by now, I just know, like, what I think I need to improve on. But
What about, John, what is your SLCP? I know I'm kind of throwing you under the bus here real quick, but
if you don't mind sharing.
Basically, it's more of a self-improvement of emotional state and mainly trying to see if I can understand people or others more than myself.
How is that going? Very good.
Still slipping on that one, but it's working. It's working fairly easy.
And I
do you
think
have
that's
any
a-
observers observing you? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Me, I don't know a lot of people like most. I only know like one person outside of school. I'm very closed in, so I don't have a lot of observers now.
I'll be
I
your
gotcha.
observer. If you're down with that.
All right.
And Bobby, I'd like to hear your SLCP.
Mine just to build new daily habits to be more productive with my time. Not necessarily procrastination, but just to get more out of my day.
So you're talking like time management?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Can I share a story with you guys about one? He's not here today, so I'm totally going to throw him under the bus. But you guys already know who I'm talking about.
Colby.
But, yep, Colby. We have a guy in our class that has done this SLCP, and I know he won't care because I've done this exact same speech before
Oh,
in
yeah?
front of him. So, but he won't care. So I'm just going to tell you. I did not like him at all. At all. He was just awful. I don't know.
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, I really can. I mean, he just didn't care about anybody, and he would walk into class, and I would be like, "Oh no, please leave!" Like be in the wrong class. And he wanted last semester to become a better person and stop being so self-centered, I guess. And he started mentoring kids, and I got to see, Ashley and I both got to see that firsthand, and it just kind of started changing him. And honestly, when I went to Dr. Phillips and I said, "Can you give bonus points for anybody that mentors?" I meant anybody but Colby. And Colby was like, "Oh, I'm in bonus points." And I was like, you know.
Anybody else?
Yeah, and the first day I sat at his table. I listened to everything he said to those kids because I didn't trust him. I was like, this is going to be so bad. And now he is one of our best mentors. I mean, we have a talent show tonight, and he's in it. I mean, and he's going to make a fool of himself to make these kids happy. And so if you don't think that these work, because I've been there, my very first one, I was like, oh, another assignment. They really do. I mean, we've seen it firsthand change a person into a better person, I feel like.
And I'm glad you kind of brought up that point. You said, "Oh, great, another assignment." This really isn't an assignment. This is something to better yourself. Because I viewed it my first semester as an assignment, and at the end of the semester, when everyone's telling me all this stuff about, man, you know, I quit smoking, man, my ex-girlfriend that I hated became my wife. What? Okay, this can change somebody. So I started taking it seriously. And does the person whose ex became their wife want to talk?
Yeah, I can't. Just had to throw that in. But now, if you really
She won't see this.
well, she might YouTube it. But now, if you take it serious, you can do pretty much anything. Like they said, her and I didn't see eye to eye, but we worked on it. And it sounds crazy. Everything turned around. If you put your mind to it, it's possible to do anything. But we didn't see eye to eye on anything. We started talking, worked through that stuff, and
Yeah.
you can get married.
Uh-oh.
But no, it really does work. You just got to go full force. If you actually want to change something about yourself, you have to do it. It's not, well, I'll just improve tomorrow or the next day. No, take initiative. Do it right then and there. If you don't take initiative, you're never going to get anything done. But that's about all I got for that one.
All right,
Don't let
so-
the idea of a possible marriage throw you
Well,
off.
Right.
I don't want to get married.
Take this class if you want to get married.
We got dating.
Oh, wow, then that's like a complete turnoff for a lot of people.
All right. Any other questions? I think we've covered. I mean, it's a pretty easy
How's our media doing?
thing.
We have one question, and they were simply asking how many observers does said person need or a person need?
It says 3 to 5, and I've had 1 before, and I've had 3, and I think 3 works the best. I've never had more than 3, but I feel like 3 works the best. Just because I know Ashley's really sweet, so if she was my only observer, she would be like, you were happy
You did so good.
all semester. You were so good. Where if I have like my sister, she's like, no, you were a witch and you were awful. Like you were not happy at all. So I like to have 3 that I'm like, closer to or have different relationships with, because maybe they won't.
It's like different angles.
Yeah. They won't lie to me, maybe. I don't know. Or I can like pick and choose from the parts and say, well, this matched to this, so okay, maybe I was, that type of thing. So 3, I think.
3.
I say 3.
I mean, I guess you could do more. She's asking if 2 are okay.
2 okay. 2 are better than 0.
I would do 2, but do it from opposite. Like she said, have like your friend who's nice, and then have your sister who's gonna give you the
truth.
honest truth. Yes.
Fortunately enough for me, my best friend is someone who will tell me the truth, even if I don't want to hear it. And that's how we kind of established ourselves as friends is, he would ask me for advice, and he's quite younger than I am, but he would ask me for advice, and I would tell him, I feel like you should do this, and you're not going to hear it, or you're not going to want to hear it, but you need to do this. And he'd kind of get upset that I would tell him, hey, this is how it needs to be done. But he accepted that. He said, I'm really glad that you did that, because now I broke up with my girlfriend and I see why I should have done this earlier, or some reason or something like that. So for me, when I ask him, hey, will you help me? Like, I need you to tell me if I'm an angrier person, or if I'm getting better dealing with stress. And he said, yeah, I can see you're getting better at it, but you still have some areas to work on. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me. He said, okay, well, it's this one and this one and this one. I was like, no, I think I'm doing good in that one. He's like, no, not really, not so much. You're kind of crappy. I'm like, okay, I'll work on it. And I have my best friend, and then I have one of my ministry leaders, and he helps me a lot whenever I don't understand something, and I'm like, well, I think I'm doing good in this. He's like, no, you're still sucking in this area. So. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
Any other questions or
Can we talk
comments?
about the SWOT analysis a little more?
Yeah.
I just want to say that it's whenever you're doing the SWOT analysis, don't just think that you're really awesome and have all these strengths and no weaknesses. Sit down and really think about it, because it's really going to help you in the long run. Go through, and don't dog yourself either. Don't just think, oh, there's nothing great about me. There's nothing that I do really well. Just go through and be completely honest. Take some time thinking about it, and then you'll really be able to find a goal that you want to reach, something that you can change.
All right, so we have another question from the tweeters. I don't know. What are they called? What are they called?
I don't feel
The
like
tweet-
they're
the
called
tweeters?
that, but that's okay.
I like twits.
Whatever.
It works.
The twits.
Twits. Does it work is the question. Does it
Yeah.
actually work?
Yes.
Living
It,
proof.
it
Yeah.
depends on
Yeah.
it depends on the effort that you put into it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want anything to really change about yourself, then no, it's not going to work. But if you really want to change something and you really want to improve on it and you work on it, then yes, it will work.
And I know that the first time I did it, I kind of just like didn't really do it. And I was pretty happy with it throughout the semester because I didn't do it and it was really easy. But I learned that I should have done it. I was kind of jealous when I heard everyone's success stories, and I'm like, oh, I don't have one. But but I think that you kind of do yourself injustice when you don't do it. Like, why not get better? Why not try harder? Like, if you're ever going to change yourself or do better, they're like, why not do it now? So this time I am doing it, and it's working out, and I'm a lot happier, and I kind of have, like, pride that I'm actually doing it. So I think you should just do it and have fun and be amazing.
And don't think that you have to, don't think that you have to get everything that you've gone into this thinking you're going to get the first time. You don't have to go in and, after the semester, I might not be happy all the time. I know you guys are all really surprised, but it's okay if I'm just like not, I know. It's okay if I get through the semester and I don't snap like at Antonio every day or, whatever. Like, small wins are okay. You don't have to have a marriage. A marriage is great, but you don't have to have that big of a thing. If you change positively in any way, I think that it's a win.
Even if it's slightly, it's a win.
I think for me.
So she's winning.
Oh yeah. Are you winning?
I didn't snap at you today.
Yeah.
Not yet.
It's
Not
still
over.
great. What about Thursday?
In the past.
Details. Something that I got out of last semester at the end, and even this semester, was there's a lot of self-reflection that you have to do. And you have to look at yourself objectively and say, am I doing the best I can in said area? And I fooled myself for the first semester. I was like, I got this. I'm just going to do something easy that I already do. I'm going to meditate a lot. It's like, this is easy cheesy. But then I got to thinking closer to the end of the semester, I was like, how much have I actually meditated? And I grouped meditation and prayer in the same column or category, and I was like, how much do I actually meditate? I was like, not very much, but I pray a lot. How much do I actually pray? Not very much. I don't think praying for your food counts. So for me, it was, man, I'm not doing this very much. And, you kind of let down your guard and you say, well, am I being objective about this? Am I actually seeing what is actually there? And I was like, I'm not doing any of this very well. So I started after the semester ended, but nevertheless, I started to meditate more, and I seemed to make wiser decisions as instead of just, saying what I thought, the first thing that came to my mind, I would sit here and think, well, should I say this? And there's a lot of self-reflection. And you'll get to, if you do it right, you will get to learn a whole lot more about yourself than what you thought there was.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Anybody down there have anything to add?
Anyone with the name Bobby?
Right.
Two things that helped me last semester were two of the books that I read, and one of them was called Essentialism, and the other one was The Four Agreements, and they helped me tremendously change things about myself. So, and if you get the chance, those two books they're great reads.
Yeah, Essentialism is
Yeah.
a great
That's really
book.
great.
I feel like Essentialism can help you in anything. You just read it. It's a great
But it
one.
does repeat
It does, but it's okay.
a lot.
It's great.
It just really wants to let you know to
Right.
pick the vital few from the trivial many.
So you can be in charge of your own life.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really great.
But I think it helps you with every single project.
Yes.
That sounds crazy, but it really does.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, if that's it. I think we're.
All right, thanks for
Bye.
thanks for listening.
That's
to
all.
us.
Good luck.